Welcome students. I hope you are familiar with all the countability concepts. So we'll see few more theorems on countability in today's lecture. The first theorem is this. If B is an infinite subset of the countable set A, then B is countable. So what is given? B is an infinite subset. Okay, this is infinite. This is a subset of A. This A is what? Countable. So A is countable means obviously I have to prove B is countable. Okay, since it is a subset of A. So, but we have to prove this theoretically. And one more thing, since B is infinite, what about the cardinality of A? This is also infinite. Okay, so an infinite, you take an infinite set A and a subset from that set A, you have to prove that the subset B is countable. I hope you understand the theorem statement. Before getting into the theorem, we'll see the proof with an example. Okay, so first you consider your set A as 1, 2, 3, etc. set of all natural numbers. Suppose if B, so it is given that B is a subset of A. Suppose if my B is equal to A, that is if B is not a proper subset of A, if they are equal, what happened to the elements of B, which is again 1, 2, 3, etc. That means both A and B are equal. Since A is countable, B is also countable. So the first case is trivial case. That is if they are equal. Second case you take, that is if B is a proper subset of A. Proper subset means what? The elements of B will be at least one or two elements in B will not, one or two elements in A will not be in B. Okay, so now, so let me take the set B as, you can take any set. I am here going to take the elements as multiple of 5. Okay, so it will be 5, 10, 15, etc. Yes, will you able to find a 1-to correspondence with the N to B, girls? Obviously yes. If I take my function as multiple of 5, if I put 1, I'll get what? 5. If I get 2, I'll get 10. And it is clear that this function f is 1 to 1 and on to. Okay, that means my B is what? Countable. I hope you understand this. So you just keep this in mind. We'll see the proof of our theorem. So let A is equal to A1, A2, A3, etc. In the example, I took A as natural number, set of all natural number. Here they are taking general case, we are taking as A1, A2, etc., A3. It is given, what is given in the statement? A is countable. So take A is countable. As I said, we have to consider two cases. First, let me take the case 1, that is B and A are equal. If they are equal, obviously what? B is countable. Okay, girls. So we'll see the second part. If B is contained in A, proper subset of A. Okay, if it is a proper subset means obviously B will not have few elements of A. Now in my example I gave you the set B as a multiple of 5. Here you take, to prove the theorem we are going to take the smallest positive integer. So let n1 be the smallest positive integer such that a(n1) belongs to B. The element a(n1) belongs to B. Then take n2, the next smallest positive integer, that belongs to B. If you take all possible smallest positive integers from A one by one, you will get a set B as an1, an2, an3, etc. Obviously, this B is what? Infinite. And if I label these elements as 1, 2, 3, what will happen? This B will be countable. Okay, so the elements of B are countable. Thus, if the whole set is countable, then the infinite subset is also countable. Hope you understand this theorem. We'll move on to the next theorem. the set of real numbers in the closed interval 0, 1. The real number in this closed interval 0, 1 is uncountable. This is what you have to prove. Okay. Again, to prove this theorem, let me explain you with the example. So what do you have to prove? You have to prove that the closed interval 0, n 1 is uncountable. You have to prove. So that means there is no one-to-one and on-to correspondence between n and the set of all elements in 0, 1. You have to prove. Now, how many elements will be there in this 0, 1? There is infinite. Yes. So suppose if I take an element from 0, 1 as x1, x2, x3, etc. I'm going to take few elements in 0, 1. What will be the integral part of 0, 1 element? In the real line, if you take with 0, 1, then 2, obviously the elements between 0 and 1 will be what? It will be of 0.1 form, isn't it? The integral part will be 0. Okay, so I can take 0. So let me take x1 to be 0. 0.111, x2 to be 0.222, x3 to be 0.333, etc. Okay. So, and all these elements will belongs to where? 0, closed interval 0, 1. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to choose an element b1 such that it does not belong, it is not equal to x1. x1 first element, that is 1. So, how many elements I can take if it is not 1, how many elements I can take between 0 and 9? I can take 9 different elements, isn't it? So, let me take it to be 2. Next, you take b2 as, let this b2 need not be equal to 2. Then I can take any values other than 2 in the interval 0 in the numbers from 0 to 9. So I can take 9 different numbers. So let me take it to be 3. Again, let me take b3 as not 3. I should not take 3. I can take any other elements other than 3. So let it be 4. Okay. Now you form the new number with this combination. So let it be y is equal to 0.b1, b2, b3, etc., which is 0.234. Will this y is equal to any of the elements in x1, x2, x3? Obviously not. You can see 0.234 is not equal to 0.111. 0.234 is 0.234 is not equal to 0.222. 0.234 is not equal to 0.333. Therefore, this y is not equal to any of my xi's, and this belongs to where? Obviously, it will be in 0, 1. Okay, girls. So it belongs to 0, 1. Therefore, I have found out an element, a new element, which is not equal to any of my xi's, but it belongs to where? 0, 1. Okay. Will this be a only element in that belongs to 0, 1? Obviously not. I can take many numbers. For example, we have chosen b1 to be 2 in the first case. Let me take 1 and you should not take 1. So let me take 4, then b2 to be 5 and b3 to be 6 and go on. So what will happen to my y now? It will be 0.456. Will this be equal to any of my xi's? No, certainly not. So it is not equal to any of my xi's, but this will this y belongs to 0, 1? Yes, it belongs to 0, 1. Okay, girls. Therefore, I can find like this, I can find the infinite number of combinations in 0, 1. Okay, therefore, I can surely say that the closed interval 0, 1 has infinite number of elements, which is uncountable. Okay, I hope you understand the theorem with the example. We'll see the proof. So, let us assume that the set of real number is 0, 1 to 0, 1 to be countable. First, you assume it to be countable. So, let me take 0, 1 as x1, x2, x3. So, and as I already told you, the elements between 0, 1 is with the integral part will be 0. So, the integral part is 0. So, take the x1, x2, x3 as 0, x1, a1 power 1, a1, a2 to the power 1, a3 to the power of 1. So, each a, j, i's takes all values between 0 and 9, including 0 and 9. Okay. And now you take b1, the first element of my y, to be not equal to a11, but it can take any other value other than a11. Okay, so how many chances that b1 can have? 9 chances. As I explained you in the example, you should not take the 1. There we took x1 as what? We took x1 as 0.111. I must not take the value what? 1. Okay, but I can take any value other than 1. So I have took 2. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. So you should not take a11 digit, but I can take any other element in the between 0 and 9, including 0 and 9. Okay, so similarly, you choose b2 to be not equal to a22, that is this place. So it should not be equal to a22, but it can be any value between 0 and 9, including 0 and 9. Like this, if you choose, my y will be 0 b1, b2, b3, etc. and my y will not be equal to any of the values which we have took from x1, x2, x3, etc. Okay, and this obviously this y belongs to where? 0, 1. Okay, thus there are infinitely many numbers like y which is not among x1, x2, x3, etc. but still y is an element of 0, 1. This shows our assumption that 0, 1 is countable is wrong. Okay, it will have infinite many numbers and every time the elements varies. Therefore, what? 0, 1 is uncountable. I hope you understand. We'll see the next theorem. The set R of all real number is countable. So that is my next theorem. What is R? The set of all real number. Isn't it, girls? We know it is set of all real numbers. Just before we have seen 0, 1 is what? Uncountable. Okay. Where will be this 0, 1? Will it be in R? Yes, it is perfectly a proper subset of my R. Since 0, 1 is uncountable, obviously I can say my R is also uncountable. Okay, so that is what the theorem. Suppose if R is countable, then 0, 1 belongs to R must be countable. But just before we have proved that 0, 1 is what? Uncountable. So if this theorem is being asked for a detailed question, you have to write the proof. Okay. Thus, the set R of real number is what? Uncountable. And the next theorem. The set of irrational number is uncountable. Okay, we have to prove the set irrational number is uncountable. So what is, in the beginning I have explained you the real number system is like this. Rational numbers will be union irrational number, isn't it? So what we have to prove? Irrational number is countable, uncountable I have to prove. We already know Q is what? Countable. Okay, we'll prove this theorem by contradicting method. Okay, that is, first let us assume that R is irrational number to be countable. We are assuming the contrary, but we know that set of rational number is countable. In the previous lecture we have seen the rational number is countable. Now we know R is a union of rational and irrational. Since R is rational is countable, we already know, we have a result. Now I have assumed irrational number to be countable. That means union of two countable set will be what? Countable. Thus the union of rational and irrational will also be countable. But is R is countable? Is this R is countable? By previous theorem, R is not countable, isn't it? So what we have assumed is wrong. So which implies R is countable, but we know that R is uncountable, which is a contradiction to our assumption that the irrational numbers are what? Countable. Is wrong. Therefore, the set of irrational number is uncountable. I hope you understand. So this, if this being asked for a brief answer, you can write as it is. If it is give the statement of a rational number is countable and irrational real number is uncountable. If this question will be asked for detail, you have to give the proof of theorem 2. Okay, this proof we have to give, and also the proof of R is an uncountable set you have to. Okay, and that's all for today, girls. We'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you, students.